Yo, what is up guys, VPirate613 here, bringing you another commentary. I'm a bit more lively today, as you can tell, because it's my off day. But let's talk about fair use a little bit more, okay? I did a video about this. My video was pretty biased. I do make some mistakes on that, but the general gist of it was pretty factual. You can go watch it if you want. I mean, that was just my opinion on it, but I would like to talk about if we actually need a court case on fair use. We have had the court case with Ray William Johnson, but you know, that was very specific, and I'll tell you why it is the way it is and why it's actually a good thing for us to have as many court cases as we can possibly have for situations to do with fair use, you know. Because I was watching a video about the podcast peasants, can't remember what they're fully called, about them, you know, they wanted to actually take someone to court because someone striked their channel because they were critiquing them, but that guy didn't like it, so he striked their channel and they wanted to challenge him in court. And you know, I think that's a good approach, to be fair. And you know why I say that is because if you don't know how fair use court cases work, is they are done on a case-to-case basis. So what that means is there isn't a ruling, well, unless, you know, there's an appeal and the court can rule something, but that's only very, you know, rarely that happens in a case, you know, in a law case, at least in the UK, where you can appeal to like a Supreme Court or a court that has that power to change something. You know, you can complain why it was unfair. You can do that, you know, but mostly I haven't seen a single court case where the judges have ruled something in fair use. They do it case-to-case basis because it has to be done that way, because the situations that happens in those cases are different. You're not going to find them anywhere else, right? They're not basic stuff that you can go through a law book, you know, a law book, and just say that, oh, this you can't do this, you can't do this because, you know, by law this isn't right. You can't do that on fair use. You have to talk about it. You have to see what's wrong about it, how, you know, the full factors are there so that they can be debated, so that they can be seen, you know, who's on the right side, who's on the wrong side. That's why they're there. And just to answer why we need as many court cases, is because the Ray William Johnson court cases showed us how judges think. It showed us the way they think about how, you know, how they're going to deal with it, how they're going to say who wins or doesn't win. And the more cases we have, the more understanding that YouTubers and anyone in general who does YouTube or commentaries or critiques or reviews or whatever, they'll have more of an understanding of how judges think. So, you know, they know that if I do this thing, then I may not have a better chance, I guess, in court, even though they definitely can, because obviously we don't even have that much court cases on fair use, and it just gives us an idea how judges think from their point of view. So that's why, you know, you need as many court cases. So for people to challenge court cases, I think it's good, but it's very risky and it's very fucking expensive. Okay, like, you want to hire a good lawyer, you need to hire a good lawyer, and a good lawyer's gonna be expensive. You can't, you know, maybe the court can provide you a lawyer, but you're still gonna have to pay. And even if it's free, even if you don't have that money, then just think about it. Like, you want a lawyer that specifically knows how to deal with these situations, so you're gonna hire that lawyer. You don't want a lawyer just from provided by the court, you know. It's expensive and it's very risky, and that's why we don't see a lot of them. But, you know, YouTubers that have the dosh to do it, and I'm like, go ahead if you want to challenge it, and if you're not gonna really take a big hit from it, then definitely go ahead and do it. Because the way I see it, you can come to a lot of agreements, and in my eyes, I think that if someone is really just morally in the wrong and ethically just wrong, then challenge them, you know. And if it's bad, like, the public's gonna see the way judges think. If they think on a different level, they're gonna see it, and there might be an outcry, which is good for us, and it will just show us, like, it might involve someone taking a hit, and that's the risk behind it. There's a lot of risk, and I think that's why people don't do it, you know. A lot of these, like, networks as well that are, you know, one that I'm with, like, small networks, you just can't deal with this amount of people that they manage, because they let everyone in and stuff. So, you know, a lot of people get around legalities, and being, you know, a YouTuber who just wants to have fun, make consistent commentaries and do what they like, then it becomes very hard to know how to, all the legal systems behind it, so you know exactly what you're doing is fine. You actually, you know, nowadays I believe that if you're a critique channel, if you're a review channel, you know, if you're trying to do reactions but it's on the basis of you're a critique and you're a reviewer, then you should definitely just be aware of this and try to stay away from that grey area, because the more you're in that grey area, the more likely you are to be striked, and you don't want that, really. I mean, you can, of course, definitely argue back why you think it's wrong, and, you know, it gives the other party a chance to take you to court if they want to, but a lot of the times they may just not do, and YouTube might take your side and just remove that strike, which is great, and they have done so in the past, which is good. So that's what I think. That's it. You know, in conclusion, I feel that we need a lot more court cases to give us a better understanding of how judges think about fair use, because they won't rule it. They won't rule out a specific thing. They're not going to say, oh, now because of this court case you can't do this. They don't do that. It's always based on how transformative the content is for it to be classed as fair use, and how, you know, are you hurting the market in a really bad way. But even then, if it doesn't fall under reviews or critique, even if you're hurting their market, is that fair or not? There's a lot to think about, and that's why these cases are done on a court-to-court basis. So, you know, we need a lot more of them, but it's very risky, it's very expensive for people. If you have the money, then okay, you can do it, you can go for it, but it can cost you money, and it can cost you, you know, even mentally, stress you out. Your YouTube's not gonna, maybe not, the content may not be as good because you're gonna have to deal with something else. So if you're a small person, then you're a small YouTuber, I mean, then you don't really get that flexibility, because really you need money to do these things. It takes to fight your court case. If someone takes you to court, or if you want to take them to court, then it's just fucking riskier, and that's why a lot of people don't do it. But, you know, I commend people like the Peasant podcast. I don't even know how you completely pronounce them. That they say that will definitely fight off and take them to court if they want to, because, you know, in my eyes, they're fighting for what they believe, and that's kind of honorable, I guess, if you want to take a look at it that way. That, you know, they're going to fight for what's morally right and ethically right, and what we think is morally right here on the YouTube community. So I think maybe court cases may need someone, you know, a judge or someone to advise them about these things, because the internet and YouTube and these platforms, social media and stuff, are getting, you know, progressive. They're very progressive. They progress a lot, and a lot of new things happen. So it's just good to have maybe the court case have an advisor. But from, you know, what I read, they will always have a specialist, you know, on board, so that will understand these things. And that's just the fact that they'll have someone who's a specialist who knows what they're talking about. They won't give you a judge who doesn't know what they're talking about. They will look at those 4 factors, and in my eyes, a judge may be a specialist in these scenarios, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they've done this and knows how the community feels, because they may have never been a part of it. So on that term, that is why the, you know, bigger court cases we have, the more court cases we have, the better it is for us to get an understanding of how judges think, so that, you know, we can avoid the grey area a little bit more. Even though there will be no rulings, like there's not going to be rulings, but it just, you know, just to avoid that grey area, just stay safe and carry on doing what we do in a great way, and stay away from that grey area so we don't have to deal with shit. So yeah, that's all I had to say for today. Managed to make a good commentary, I think. So hope you guys enjoyed. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to see more content from me, then all you gotta do is subscribe and you'll see content from me. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and as always guys, peace out.